Which do you tend to embrace more?
どっちだろうっていうところはあるかもしれない。
I feel like there's body, heart, and mind. Be unique, embrace yourself, flaunt it.
なんて、
むずいね。
むずいよね、これね。むずいよ。これがロスジャパ感覚かもしれないね。
Welcome to the Lost in Japanglish channel, delivered to you in a bilingual format in English and Japanese.
ロスジャパチャンネルへようこそ。日本語と英語のバイリンガル形式でお送りしています。
I'm Chieko.
そしてやっこです。
Today we're going to be talking about American and Japanese proverbs that really illustrate the way Japanese people think and American people think.
そうなんです。今日はね、ちょっといろんなことわざをこう出していって、その日本っぽい考え方とか、アメリカっぽい考え方みたいな視点でちょっとこのことわざを見ていきたいなと思っていて、で、しかも自分だったらどっちみたいなことで、密かに楽しみにしておりました。
Hi. So the first one, I think, really illustrates individuality and uniqueness over harmony and conforming. So the English proverb that I want to share is, be yourself, everyone else is taken.
まあ、自分で言いなさいってことか。
はい。
なぜかっていうと、他の人はもう取られてるから。
Yes.
文字通り言うとそういう感じだよね。
はい。Yes.
はい。他の人はもう他の人だから、自分は自分らしくっていう感じなのか。で、日本語の方でも、日本っぽい感じで言うと、もうまさに出る杭は打たれるってやつかな。
Yes. I've heard this one a lot growing up. So,
Okay.
literally translated, it means the nail that sticks out gets hammered down.
そう。もう、本当にね、やっこはね、これを何度体験したかっていう感じはするよね。
And meaning you don't want to stand out. You want to blend in. So between these two sayings, which do you tend to embrace more?
It is a good question because just the fact that I am in Japan, I stand out in many ways, good and bad. And so it's hard to not stand out. And for that reason, I do try to kind of lay low, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you try to not be the nail that sticks out.
Not be the nail that sticks out. How about you?
This one's really tricky for me. I feel like my conditioning is very much blend in, right? Don't be that nail. But because the thinking is so contrary here, which is like, be unique, embrace yourself. There is a part where, I want to have the loudest, most obnoxious Halloween costume, right? So,
なるほど。そこか。なるほどね。
I have to say I'm pretty 50-50 on these. It just depends on the circumstance. But there are some circumstances where I'm like, absolutely, I want to blend in. I don't want to stick out at all. I just want to be with the people. And
でもちーちゃんもそういうとこあるんだね。面白いね。なんか、やっこも、50-50だっていうのはやっこもすごい感じる。だから、やっこもそうだというconclusionに至るんだけど、頭ではやっぱりやっこも子供の時からさ、be yourself みたいなの、あなたはどう考えてるのか言おうとか、あなたはあなただみたいなことをもう叩き込まれてるから、I do think in that way as well. So, in my body, it's kind of split sometimes. 両方存在してるから50-50で、このケースバイケースで違うっていうのはね、すごいわかる。
You might come across that quite a bit as we go along.
そうだね。これがロスジャパ感覚かもしれないね。
So the next one, this is about being cautious or being bold. So the English saying that I want to share today is nothing ventured, nothing gained, which is all about taking risk.
なるほどね。それはアメリカっぽい感じがするね。これの日本はその cautious to boldly と cautious の方は石橋を叩いて渡る。Literally, it's there's a stone bridge. So there's a bridge made out of stone. So it's pretty firm. And even though you know it's firm, you still have to kind of check if it's okay, if the bridge will not break, and then you cautiously, cross the bridge. So that's the literal meaning, and it means to be cautious. So
yes.
This we hear a lot in Japan. って
Yes.
感じはするね。
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on not failing.
Right. そうなのよ。In general, we just don't like failing. We are taught from a young age that failing is not a good thing. So I think we're generally very careful in not failing っていうのがあるから、こういうね、考え方はあるかもしれないけど、ちーちゃんはこの二つで言ったらどっちっていうのはある？
I have to say they both exist. Like there is a part of me that feels cautious, but I find that I often feel overly cautious. That's how I feel inside, where I'm like, I don't need to be as cautious as I'm like trained to be. なので、
わかるわかる。
I do like push myself to think about like the nothing venture, nothing gain. Like let's just go for it. Let's take the risks. It's okay to fail. It's okay to try new things. But I do find that I have to really coach myself there because I have the internal training of be very cautious.
いや、これもね、バッチリ同じかもしれない。やっこ性格的にもちょっとカーシャスなタイプ。結構慎重さんって自分では言ってるんだけど、そう、パーソナリティ的にもそうかもしれないけど、日本人なところもあって、カーシャスなところはある。だけど、やっぱり自分をこう、プッシュしたいっていう気持ち。I do like to think and push myself to be more bold and make more, もうちょっと頑張って、コンフォートゾーンから出ようみたいなことをよく考えて動こうとはする。だから、両方あるよね、これもね。
Yeah, this one is good because I think it illustrates conditioning and then our unique desires of wanting to take risk.
でもそれが不思議なところだよね。頭で考えてるのと心がどう感じてるかっていうのをすごく考える気がする。こういうのを考えると。
Well, I actually think there's three things that happen, which is like what is your brain telling you? And then there's what is your heart telling you, which I think is really what you desire. But then there's like what your body knows, because your body remembers, I think our nervous system remembers through conditioning. So if we've been conditioned to think taking risk is scary, it's still going to feel scary in my body, even though my mind knows it's not scary and my heart wishes to take risk. Physically, I still feel the fear because that's what my body's been trained to do. So I feel like there's body, heart, and mind.
いや、もう、さすがちーちゃんって感じがする。日本人も通じる気がする。まあ、心が感じてることと頭で考えてること以外にも体が感じることって感じだもんね。こう、gut feeling とかもあるのかな。腹がどう考えてるか。感じてるかみたいな。We think about that too, I think.
Well, let's go to the next one because this one is, I think, so demonstrative of Japanese type thinking and American type thinking. The English saying is, if you've got it, flaunt it. So that means if you have really long, beautiful legs, then flaunt them. If you have gorgeous long hair, flaunt it, right?
Flaunt it.
Flaunt it, yes. So, yeah, it's showing off like what you have. But it's very different from, I think, how we tend to think about how to present yourself than the Japanese
だよね。
sayings, yes.
だよね。もうそれ、本当にそれをザ・アメリカンって気がするよね。その、フラントってなんかこう、放出してみたいな感じなのかなって思うんだけども、全然日本は違うっていうのはあって、日本だと、ノーアルタカは爪を隠す is what we would use a lot, I think.
Let's directly translate that.
それは、ノーアル、タカはホークとかになるのかな、が、they have claws っていうの。
They're talons.
Talons ね。
Yes.
Talons 聞いたことない。こう、爪だよね。If you are a skilled hawk, that hawk will hide its talons.
Yes.
Meaning, it won't show it off. It'll try to hide it and not show it off too much. みたいな感じかな。Does that sound accurate?
Yes,
you?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it be a skill, a physical asset, money,
Mm-hmm.
all these different types of things. Either do you show
Yeah.
it off or do you hide it? Or do you keep
Hi,
it
hi, hi.
under wraps? And these two sayings, are very common and popular sayings, and that
Right.
demonstrate the way of thinking behind how you might choose to behave.
だよね。For me, どっちだろうっていうところはあるかもしれない。I'm neutral. I
You're
don't know if
neutral.
that
Okay.
counts. Yes, because I think compared to Japanese, I do flaunt it a little bit more. But, だけど、ちょっとヤッコの中では、ヤッコの中ではちょっと reserve なつもりなんだけどっていう感じかな。難しいな。
Okay. Yeah.
How about
Interesting.
you?
I think this is another case by case situation. So I would say I am selective about the if you've got it, flaunt it situation.
Oh, selective. Okay.
Yes, selective. So I think other times I am more of like a hide your talons kind of a person. So again, 50-50, right? Like in some situations. But if I compare myself to my husband, he's 90% if you've got it, flaunt it. He's very American. He's very much that way. So sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, it just feels like we should hide our talons a little bit more. っていう気持ちは良くなるね。So,
いや、それすごいいいポイントだと思う。実際に自分がどうかっていう風に考えると、ちょっとわかんないところがあるんだよね。ヤコも。どっちとも言えないし、ケースバイケースとも言えるし。だけど、人と比べると結構感じるよね。うちもね、ヤンは日本人にしては、for Japanese, he flaunts. He flaunts it. So, he was born in Japan. He was raised in Japan. And so he's a Japanese, 100% as we say, but he is not very Japanese in a way.
Oh, so for him, he might be more of a, if you've got it, flaunt it kind of guy.
Yes, yes. そういう感じ。だからそれに比べるとやっこ、いやいや、ちょっとそんな風には私はできませんみたいな感じの、I feel that way. And so I think when you compare, you kind of realize it, but it's different in different situations and scenarios だね。
Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is whether you might be a little bit more reserved or outspoken. So in English or in American sayings, we say, speak your truth. Or another saying that you might hear is, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Ooh.
Yeah. So imagine if you have a cart and it has 4 wheels and all of the wheels are great except for one that's making all the noise. So guess who gets greased? It's the noisy one.
そういうことね。
Yeah. So if you're the one who's complaining or you're the one who's speaking up or if you're the loudest and most annoying one, you're going to get the attention that you seek, right? So in a way, it is about like speak up.
そういうことね。はい。それすっごいわかりやすいね。そのスクイーキーウィール gets the grease。確かに、その言わないともらえない的なところは、すごくいい表現だなって思うんだけど、だから日本の場合はどっちかっていうとね、その reserve の方だから、沈黙は金なり的な、like, literally に行くと、silence is gold って感じだよね。
Yes, and it is about not speaking up unless you absolutely have to. It's better to say nothing.
Yes, better to say nothing, I think, is what the basic culture is like here in Japan. However, we joke about this a lot when we compare Tokyo and Osaka culture, because Tokyo is the reserved type and we don't speak up as much って感じなのかな. But the Osaka people are known to be more もっと言う outspoken. それだ。outspoken. そうだ。で、yeah, and so Tokyo people would say, oh, 大阪の人はもうちょっとちゃんと言うよねとか。and 大阪の人からすると東京全然言わないよねとか。like, we have that comparison. But I think in general, compared to other cultures around the world, it's more reserved and outspoken ってどういう意味? Like, I know the word.
It means you are not afraid to speak up about anything.
Anything, okay.
Yeah, it's someone is outspoken. It means they have a lot to say. 全然シャイじゃ
なる
ないっ
ほどね。
ていう。
シャイじゃない。これも大きいな。これ、ちーちゃん的にはどう自分で当てはめると
むずいね。
むずいよね、これね。むずいよ。結構考えちゃ
So I think my natural inclination is to be more
う。うん。
reserved.
はいはい
But
はい。
I am not afraid to speak up.
もうそのまんまだね、ちーちゃんね。
うん
And natural inclination っていう表現、ちょっといただきたいと思います。どうやって英語で言ったらいいのかってよく、っていうかわかんなくなっちゃう時があって、だけども、natural inclination で言うと reserved な気がする。I do kind of try to stay in that zone, but 抑えらんない時はある。もうこれ言わないと無理ですみたいな、結構そういう時もあるから、誰かが言わないといけないんじゃないかみたいな時になって、もう抑えらんないポンみたいなことはあります。っていう感じかな。
Yes. I think the deeper part of this, though, is I think more of the Japanese thinking is I shouldn't have to say anything. Like, you should notice that I am struggling with this, or you should notice that this situation is not correct. And if I have to say something, then the burden is on me. And I feel like that's a very Japanese style thinking where you would expect the service provider, whatever the situation is, the teacher, the, situation, your friend, your family member, they should notice, be thoughtful enough to create a situation in which you don't have to have the uncomfortable conversation. Right? That's the most polite thing. But that's like the next level down.
いや、ほんとね、さすがちーちゃんって感じ。ね。日本のおばあちゃんと言われるちーちゃんは、ほんとよく日本の文化を知ってるなって思うけど、まさにそういうところはあるよね。その言わなくても気づくべきでしょ、みたいな。We do think in that way, and so I think that is very true in our culture. だから、and that is the next level って感じはするけどね。
Yeah, it's the next level down. But the situation is, especially here, people don't notice. They don't think to that next level of, I don't want to put that person in a difficult position where they have to ask for something or, demand something or whatever. So here, I do feel like the expectation is, if you're uncomfortable or if you need something or if you want something, like it's your responsibility to speak up, not my responsibility to notice that you need these things. So it's like, where does the responsibility fall is a little bit different, I think, in Japanese culture and American culture.
これね、かなりちーちゃんすごくね、プロファウンドなことを言ってくれてる気が、もう拍手をしたい。いやもう本当にそうで、やっぱりヤコは日本のお湯に浸っちゃっててなんか気づかなくなってきちゃうんだけど、でも、だからこそ頭でよくちょっと考えないとなって思って行動するんだけど、常識 like we talk about common sense a lot here in Japan, which I feel does not exist if you go out into the world because people think differently. People, live differently. So you should not expect that that other person will know or can figure it out by themselves. Because ね、そういう感じあるから言わなきゃいけないよね。ちゃんと、なんか uncomfortable。なんか嫌なんだけどって言った時もちゃんと言わなきゃいけないし、いい時も言ってあげた方がいいってみたいな。right? なんか、両方わかるよね。どっちもよくわかるよねって感じがして、すごくね、まあ今日しょうがないよね。この50-50なことばっかりなんですよ。っていうところはあるんだけど、ちょっとしっくりね、クリアカットじゃないけど、やっぱ両方あるよね。
Because I do think everyone can relate to both sides in some situations. And it's just sort of like, which way do you tend to lean more often, I think is a fun way to think about it.
はい。はい。
We do have to jump over to our pop quiz for today.
はい。それではクイズコーナーに移りましょ
う。Okay, so today I have a question for you.
はい。
What is beginner's luck?
ビギナーズラックはね、知ってる気がする。まあ、例えばの話で言うと、パチンコ初めてやって、
はい。
初めてやったら勝った は beginner's luck。あれ、そのまんまだよね。
Yes, that's exactly it. Yes.
Okay.
So it's when you have unexpected or statistically not supported luck, success on the very first try. Like the first time you played poker, you won. The first time you did pachinko, you won. The first time you did something like you won. And it's like, okay, we call that beginner's luck.
なるほど、なるほど。Okay, okay. For me, that was a true story for the pachinko story. Yeah. In my whole life, I've done it once, and I won. And I stopped there.
それで終わった。
それで終わった。Like, I didn't want to, せっかくビギナーズラックで勝ったからもうここで終わりにしようみたいな感じだったよね。
That's amazing. I love that story.
I think we do say beginner's luck in the katakana way. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if we have a Japanese version for that. But thank you very much for that phrase. 日本語の方に移りましょう。そしたら、今日のテーマにも関わりがあるかなと思うんですけど、次のフレーズは何でしょう？
Okay.
もぐらたたきって言ったら何でしょ
う？もぐらたたき。So it makes me think of the game where the little moles pop up and you hit them with the mallet.
Yeah.
That's the literal game?
Yes. I was talking about the game. So,
you are? Okay.
Yeah. 今日、どっちもなんかちょっとゲームだね。そうです。It is the game. これってさ、っていうかアメリカでもこの遊び自体はあるよね。
ある。
What is it called?
It's called whack-a-mole. Because you whack the mole.
やっぱそれなんだ。Okay. もうがもぐら？はい。Okay, whack-a-mole. じゃあ同じだね。
So whack is the onomatopoeia of hitting something. So you whack it.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It's called whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole. All right. It is a game we see at summer fairs, like local fairs and stuff. So I think that's the same as well.
はい。ゲームセンターとか
行くとあるよね。So the reason I wanted to bring this up today is because the first phrase that we did, 出る杭は打たれる, we associate it with this game, the same with this game. So, ね, like when I do something, こうポンポンポンポンってやられたら I feel like the mole っていう感じ。
That's funny. Well, thank you. And thank you all for joining us for today's video. And, let us know in the comments, where do you land on this scale of Japanese style thinking, American style thinking, or do you relate to both sides like we do? We'd love to hear your thoughts and any other Japanese or American sayings that come to mind. Share them below.
はい。そうですね。今日、結果的にはどっちとも言えないっていうところが多かったんですけれども、まあ考えるってことが結構面白いなと思うし、その表現、英語でこういう風に言えるんだみたいなのがちょっといい勉強になったなって役は今日思いましたので、皆さんもぜひ考えたり、新しい表現を覚えていったらいいんじゃないかなと思います。それでは今日もご視聴ありがとうございました。また次回会いましょう。バイバイ。